Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.
Well, with the rains we've gotten recently, a lot of people are out mowing their grass, and the grass is growing really quickly this time of year. And so I'm going to talk just a little bit today about proper mowing. It's one of those things that maybe people overlook, or they just don't think too much about it. They just go out and mow, but really it's important to mow correctly so that you have the healthiest stand of turf grass you can. One of the things that I want to make sure people are aware of is that it's important to have sharp mower blades. Sharp mower blades will actually cut the grass blade real nice and cleanly, which helps that plant heal a little bit quicker. If you have dull mower blades, that grass gets ripped or shredded. And sometimes it's even really visible, especially on like a tall fescue lawn. If the mower blades are dull, they go and just shred all the grass blades and gives it that kind of off-white or tannish appearance to the top when the hot winds start blowing. And it's really noticeable that those blades were not very sharp. So you want to make sure your blades are sharp. Usually we say about every 10 hours of mower use you want to sharpen, but really ideally that's the case. But practicality wise, if you get those blades sharpened at least once or twice a season, that's great. The other thing I want to talk about is proper mowing height. Now, mowing height will vary depending on the type of grass that you have. So you want to be aware of what type of turf grass you have growing in your yard, and then what height you need to mow at to have the best stand of grass you can. Now, we're standing amongst buffalo grass, and buffalo grass is one of those grasses that I see mowed way too short quite often. That is really detrimental to the grass. If you expose the crown of the grass, or if the lawn has thinned out some and you have some bare spots, that's just going to cause more weeds. It's going to cause stress to your grass, and it's going to cause the health of it to deteriorate over time. So you want to make sure and mow a little bit taller. For buffalo grass, we're talking 2.5 to 3 inches for that height. Now, now on a tall fescue lawn, you can even go a little bit taller than that, 3 to 4 inches or 3.5 inches. The worst thing you can do is go in and just scalp the lawn or scalp the yard. One other thing that really mowing short allows is for the sunlight to penetrate down to the ground, and a lot of our weed seeds like crabgrass require sunlight to germinate, and so you're going to have more weeds if you mow that lawn way too short, because that sunlight that sunlight will go down into the soil and allow those seeds to germinate. Whereas if you had a taller stand of grass, more canopy cover there, you don't allow that sunlight to penetrate down into the ground and allow those seeds to germinate. If you have questions about mowing your grass or what height you should be mowing at, contact your local extension office for more information. One final thing that I wanted to mention was that a lot of people like to use their grass clippings and save them for mulch in their gardens or flower beds. And while this can be a good practice, you want to make sure that you're not using any grass clippings that have been treated with weed killers. Usually what we tell people is that you want to make sure and allow the proper length of time in between spraying before you end up saving those clippings. So if you're putting down a broadleaf weed killer, you want to make sure to allow the length of time of the residual of that weed killer. So if you're just using something like 2,4-D, you want to leave about 2 or 3 weeks in between the time that you spray before you start collecting clippings again. If you're using something that contains a chemical called quinclorac, which is becoming more common in some of our products that we can purchase for crabgrass control and broadleaf weed control, you don't want to use those clippings at all. The residual on that chemical is quite long, up to 18 months in some situations, and so it is not recommended that you save those clippings for any sort of mulching purposes. If you have questions about that, contact your local extension office for more information. Reporting for K-State Research and Extension, Eagle TV, I'm Holly Dickman, Ellis County Horticulture Extension Agent.
Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.